Which secondary antagonist is more evil than the main antagonist? Burke from Aliens. At least you don't see the xenomorphs fucking each over for a goddamn percentage. Count Rugen vs. Prince Humperdinck in The Princess Bride. Dude had a hidden torture dungeon called the Pit of Despair. Slightly more evil than stuck-up rich boy playing political games. Roger in Lord of the Flies. The Knave of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, total manipulator who turned the slightly mean Queen of Hearts into a total homicidal maniac. The evil laugh guy from the extended ProZD canon. Edit. Y'all failed me. Gunter from Adventure Time. He is the most evil being in all of existence. Nice try. What culture? Mining your next video ideas? Haha. Todd in Breaking Bad. Ridley from Metroid. Despite being easily the series' most iconic villain. And Samus. Eternal arch-rival. Motherfucker ate her parents right in front of her. He's rarely ever the in-game main antagonist, final boss. And usually works under people like Mother Brain. But Ridley is one savage and evil motherfucker. Scott Evil. He actually went through with the frickin' sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their frickin' heads. Joseph Goebbels. Mrs. Lovett gaslights a mentally ill neighbor she has a crush on to murder people who inconvenience her and to increase her profits. She's way more evil than Sweeney Todd. Even though she never murders anyone herself. The second in command in Ip Man. Leopold Fitz in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. Dude was terrifying. The first Goomba you encounter in the original Super Mario Bros. Not only has he killed Mario more times than Bowser could ever dream. But it might just be the most deadly character of any video game ever. Stephen Warren from Django Unchained. From the movie, I got the impression that Candy was an idiot but a useful one, and that it was Steven who ran Candyland with an iron fist. He ran manipulation circles around Candy. He was the one who put Hildy in the box when Candy. Django and Schultz arrived because she tried to run away. Candy's sister seemingly was there just to be a rich lady who liked to throw status parties and do nothing more than that. I don't see her lifting a finger to do anything, so Steven and not her was the one giving orders on how to run the place and how to punish the slaves while Candy was away. That scene in the parlor. It was Steven who was sitting in the master's chair and drinking the high-end liquor while Candy sat in the other seat. Leaning in like child listening to the parent. You just know that if Steven wanted to, he could have easily killed Candy and run away. But why would he when he could play dumb and run the empire? Candy was evil, but Steven was even more so. Charlie Prince in 310 to Yuma. In Gotham, I think Victor Zsasz was way worse than Carmine Falcone. The Spider and Zed in Pulp Fiction. Lady Macbeth. Carnage. Sure, Spider-Man has a massive rogues gallery and there isn't really a primary or secondary antagonist, but when you think of main villains it usually comes under Goblin or Venom. Both have their own motivations that lead to a lot of people dying. Not Carnage though. Carnage just wants to kill everything and everyone. He lives and breathes murder. Cassidy is an absolute psychopath, and giving him that hellish symbiote was a mistake. Pong Krell in Star Wars, Clone Wars. Bellatrix Lestrange was cold DDDD. Edit. Okay, I'll admit Umbridge was also on another level. Doofenshmirtz's parents. Tamatoa the crab from Moana. Tuco Salamanca. He was just batshit crazy. Also shout out to the Salamanca twins. Their only intention was to kill and seek vengeance. The movie The Rock. Main villain wanted injustices righted, but was never going to take it out on citizens. Not the 2IC. He needed to get paid. Starscream 100%. Johnny Ringo was way more evil than Curly Bill in A Tombstone. Seymour over Sin Yu Yevon in Final Fantasy X. Barty Crouch Jr. from Harry Potter. Man deceives the entire world. Gives the best acting performance Hogwarts has ever seen. Tricks his parents into busting him out of Azkaban. Fights the Imperious Curse. Kills his dad and comes this close to bringing Voldy back in complete secrecy. Best HP villain hands down. President Coin in Hunger Games. Mockingjay. She led a revolution against President Snow in the Capitol, and Coin was in charge of District 13. However, she seemed to not care much about Katniss, which she was to be the face of the revolution. And Coin eventually caused the death of Katniss's sister. Frank Fontaine over Andrew Ryan. Though I guess you could argue that Fontaine is the main villain in a way. Angelo. Katagira from JJBA Part 4. Kira was evil. There's no doubt about it. But Angelo is on a whole other level. Voss from Far Cry 3. I don't know if this counts, as you could definitely say that he is a main antagonist. But Troy Calypso from Borderlands 3, even though he was a bit lackluster, I feel that if they had decided to flesh him out a bit more than his sister, he could have been a better final boss. He has so much resentment and envy towards her, and I think that he could have been a lot more brutal. The Night Kind is some kind of Death Knight overlord that leads this unholy army of the damned. And I'd rather spend an eternity as a white than spend an afternoon with Ramsay Bolton. Carl on Phineas and Ferb after he got hit with the Evilinator. He was far more evil than Drive. Doofenshmirtz and more effective. The Batman who laughs is far more evil. And far more interesting than his master Barbados. Bullseye in Daredevil Season 3 seemed more evil than Kingpin. Fisk was definitely evil, but in a more reasonable, sympathetic way. Bullseye was made a little sympathetic too, but he also showed a way more sinister side. Azula from Atla. Kabuto is worse than Orochimaru. Aldrich from Dark Souls 3, he was so much creepier and more evil than Gale, the Soul of Cinder, or any other character that could be considered a main antagonist. All the other bosses were either doing what they thought was right. Gale, Freed, Lothric, etc., acting out of simple desperation or complacency. Old Demon King, Yorm, etc., or weren't in full control of their actions. Osiros, Gundyr, etc., but Aldrich just seemed to want to consume everything. The only other character who comes even close to that kind of attitude is the player character. The little guy walking with Mrs. Finster in that school show from Disney. Overhaul from MHA. The main villains are pretty evil, but this dude literally took a little girl apart and put her back together over and over and over. That doesn't include the psychological trauma. Heinrich Himmler. Shigo from Kim Possible. Kefka in the first half of Final Fantasy VI. You spend the entire first half of that game viewing Kefka as Gestal's psychopathic attack dog. He poisons an entire town, murders General Leo, the only person in the Empire who seems to be genuinely kind, and takes delight in torturing and murdering pretty much anyone. Then he backstabs Gestal, steals all the power, and becomes the main antagonist. So I guess in the second half of the game he doesn't really fit the prompt. But certainly everything in the world of balance. Mimshi. Joseph Mengele is more evil than Hitler. Chocolata from JoJo Part 5. Even the main villain of Part 5 thinks that Chocolata is a piece of shit. Dementio. I would guess Micah Bell maybe? Delaris Umbridge. Mini-Me from Austin Powers. Peyton Fane from the Wheel of Time series. Grandpa Joe. Gul Dukat and Kai Wynn, Star Trek. Deep Space Nine. I don't know which is worse, but the other is a very close second. Doofenshmirtz isn't even evil, but his jingle would disagree. Gunter from Adventure Time. Starscream from Transformers. Wuya from Xiaolin Showdown. General Grievous from Star Wars The Clone Wars.